Did you know that humans lived for thousands of years without having a name for nothing? You could own 100 sheep, or 2 sheep, or no sheep. But there was no symbol you could write to mean nothing. Then, in a moment of genius somewhere in the world, a human decided to draw a small circle, and with that circle they invented nothingness. And more than that, they changed the rules of mathematics, unleashed modern physics, and finally made the computer you're watching me on possible. This is the story of zero, the number that did not exist. Imagine you are a merchant in ancient Babylon, 4,000 years ago. You want to know, if I have 300 sacks of wheat, and I sell 300 sacks, how many are left? Nothing. But how do you write nothing on your clay tablet? Ancient civilizations, the Sumerians, Egyptians, Greeks, had brilliant numbers, but they had no symbol for emptiness. They would leave a blank space in writing, or write a sentence, "There is nothing." The problem: that blank space causes disaster. How do you tell the difference between the number 1, 10, and 101 in a system with no zero? The Greeks, geniuses of geometry, rejected the idea of zero entirely. The philosopher Aristotle said, "Nature abhors a vacuum. It's impossible for nothing to be something." And because of that, Greek science remained incapable of inventing the number system we use today. But on the other side of the world, in ancient India, thinkers had embraced the idea of nothingness for a long time. In Hindu and Buddhist philosophy, emptiness, or shunya, is not just absence, but a cosmic principle. So when Indian mathematics developed in the 5th or 6th century CE, there was no fear of symbolizing emptiness. The mathematician Brahmagupta was the first to dare treat zero as a real number. He didn't just write it, he tried to do math with it. Yes, he laid down rules. Any number plus 0 equals that number. Any number minus 0 equals that number. Any number multiplied by 0 equals 0. But he faced a problem. What about division by 0? Brahmagupta said, any number divided by 0 equals nothing. He didn't know that he had opened the door to an entirely new mathematics that wouldn't be solved for another 1,000 years. Zero remained confined to India for centuries, until the Islamic Golden Age. In the 8th century, a Persian mathematician named Al-Khwarizmi arrived at the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. He studied the Indian texts and saw that magical symbol, the small circle. Al-Khwarizmi realized that this symbol was not just a writing tool, but a revolution in thinking. He transferred it into his arithmetic system, which he called algebra, from his book, the compendious book on calculation by completion and balancing. From there, zero moved to Andalusia, and then to the rest of Europe through the translations of Toledo. But Europeans did not welcome it. At first, they called it the devil's number, or the false number. In Florence, in 1299, a law was passed banning the use of zero. Merchants preferred to use the old Roman abacus, IVX, because they trusted it more than that scary empty number. Imagine, they banned zero because it was just too strange. But zero was stronger than the laws. Without zero, you cannot do accurate accounting, you cannot build precise clocks, you cannot draw astronomical maps. With the arrival of the Renaissance, zero became indispensable. The decimal system we use today, 01239, is a gift from India via the Islamic world. Thanks to it, any child can perform complex calculations that would have required geniuses 1,000 years ago. But more importantly, zero made infinity possible. When scientists like Newton and Leibniz began inventing calculus, they needed to deal with quantities that approach zero. That is, dividing something by something approaching zero. This gave them instantaneous velocity, the slope of curves, and the laws of motion and gravity. Zero, which was nothingness, became the key to understanding everything that moves in the universe. And today, zero is the star of technology. Every computer, every phone, every AI algorithm depends on a binary language, 0 and 1. 0 means off, no current flows. 1 means on. With billions and billions of these binary switches per second, we browse the internet, watch videos, and launch rockets. Did you know that the first computer program, written by Ada Lovelace in the 19th century, was based on 0 and 1? And without 0, no electronic device would have a heartbeat. 0, the number that was once demonic and scary, has become the most common thing in our lives. If we return to our original question, how did humans invent nothing? The answer is not just technical, but philosophical. 0 is not merely a counting tool. It is the idea that nothing is something. That emptiness can be productive. That absence can be present. And that is the real lesson of the story of 0. Sometimes the most productive ideas in history are the idea of nothing at all.